Certainly does, and NIP playing a few mind games with the Sven and anti-mage. Of course, you saw those last bans from Alliance were actually offlane bans. There was a Brewmaster coming out from Alliance, but well, a few tricks going on. Been a while since we've seen the 33 Sven come out. Overall, though, John, I'm going to ask, going into this draft, who do you think came out a little bit stronger?
I'm going to have to go with NIP's draft. We have seen them run these ultra greedy drafts before, and it would be really easy to punish. The one thing is that we haven't seen them really get punished. Every single time, Ace still finds the farm. Fata and 33 are active early on to give him enough space to start having impact. And by 20 to 25 minutes, Ace just comes back in with all the items he needs and contributes to those team fights quite well. So I have confidence in NIP making their draft work. It's very greedy, but that's how they've been drafting this entire time in the qualifiers.
Good to see both supports on the front of these intro pages here. Very nice to see. Of course, we'll go ahead and get into it. Thank you for that analysis, John. Very nice indeed.
Prepare for battle.
You'd like to have fun. It's good to see both teams in good spirits coming into this game. Of course, Fata, on that Razor, we've seen him play this hero over and over again, and this just seems to be one of his specials now in that mid lane. Just so hard to contest when he is on this Razor, and I mean, a lot of these games against NIP, you do end up seeing it banned out in the first phase, perhaps even the second, but generally the first, because they know that NIP will generally pick it up if it is left after the first ban phase. And that's what scares me a bit for Alliance, because, I mean, look, they have the heroes that will be able to get away from that static click fairly easily, but it still worries me a bit, because he always finds a way to get the job done in the team fights.
Definitely so. I think the key thing is to watch out for Saksa on the Shadow Shaman to get the control on for the Razor to maximize his spells. You're not going to be able to hold everyone down, sure. I mean, you're going to have to choose between the Morphling, the Morana, or that Pangolier. But even just grabbing one and giving your Razor more damage is going to be a massive boon for NIP. So it should still work out quite nicely for Fata. He's still guaranteed a lot of damage early on, just from that combination alone. It's a very stable combo we have seen NIP go back to time and time again.
Looks like with the bounty runes, it is going to be a 2-for-2 trade, so very even start. No real damage coming out on anyone, in fact. NIP, that they look set up for this top lane. As it stands right now, they are running a bit of a trial lane, so really trying to shut down Mickey's Morphling. He is a very, very dangerous Morphling player, as we've seen over and over again, so you can't blame them for this. Essentially, if they do get the shackles into like a cold feet or even just a Stormhammer, Mickey, I don't think he'll sustain that much damage this early on. We'll see when they do try to initiate. In fact, I say that, but they have already moved Sansa down bot. Speaking of bot, they are going after Ace right now. Burrow Strike and Arrow both connect.
Thank you.
Ace, though, will end up being okay. It was a rather close range arrow.
Yeah, and we are watching the offlane Quickpaw, and we are watching Boxy mid. I suppose that does kind of work out better for the Pangolier, right? He, again, doesn't care for that stat link as much. Mirana does kind of depend on leap charges, and you don't really level the leap too much in the laning phase nowadays. So it does kind of make sense in that just trying to win each lane, the Pangolier probably has a better shot than the Mirana down mid.
Certainly. Still not going to be the easiest match nonetheless, but well, he has a swashbuckle and it's that easy. Still 7 damage on Fata, but I mean, it matters a bit because it's so early on. I guess even that 7 damage will be annoying to have stolen off you. But it's a lot better than, say, 30 or 40 damage at level 1.
Yeah, it's going to slow down Fata's lane just a bit, but you kind of had to expect that. All these heroes, again, from Alliance's side, aren't going to be the easiest ones to lock in unless you have a support.
Mickey finding himself once again having to farm under the tier 1 tower, though again, he is rather used to this by this point, and Tiger down to the bot lane. Going to be chased down by Ace and Saksa. Hex will be there from Saksa. Does he have a Shackles? It is on cooldown. Ace, though, looking to continue the chase. He does have Blink available in just a second. looks like Tiger will run towards the south to the tree line. A nice burrow strike. Arrow will not actually connect on anybody, and Saksa, he's just trying to find the shackles. He will find it, and this could just be first blood. Ace, he will not even need to get the last right click. It looks like Saksa will get the job done.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very nice boon for NIP, of course. Just finding someone early on from the AM, it's going to be really good for Ace. And we have seen Ace, when he gets these great active starts, it just accelerates him even further. And this guy already, man, he hit some really good timings on the AM. If he hits even better timings, it's not going to be easy to shut him down if you're Alliance.
Having a look over to the mid lane, while Boxy is struggling to keep up in CS, he is really starting to dish out some very nice harassment over onto Fada. Still though, it looks like that's his main concern. Rather than getting that farm, he just wants to make sure Fada never really feels comfortable on that Razor. And I suppose that does make sense, because the Pango isn't one of those heroes that really needs too much gold, but more so just the levels.
Definitely so. That's why this matchup really does work out. I mean, the Pangolier just can't quite get those last hits too easily. His damage isn't the best. And again, when he goes in, he is kind of threatened by the Razor, but just managing to slow down Fata's snowball, not giving him any opportunities to find these laning kills. It's a win enough for NIP, for Alliance. At the very least, lane I'd consider a draw.
Top lane, Stun and Cold Feet go out onto Mickey. They know he's going to go straight onto PPD. They want to try and turn this one around. Mickey, with the attribute shift, just juggle his HP around and does do so rather nicely. Both will go away. Looks like Saksa bot lane is in trouble now. An arrow connects from Quafer. He will end up losing his life. Ace, he was going for the chase onto Tiger. Does drain pretty much all his mana, but he has just enough for the Sandstorm. Is it going to matter though? Ace, he needs one more right click on that Sand King. It looks like he will not find it in the end. Meanwhile, top lane, Mickey again going to be chased down here, but attribute shift is a thing, and he'll just strength morph his way to safety.
He's been really playing on the edge here, just dropping himself down to 1 constantly, and then popping the Tango Den for maximum efficiency. It's super high risk. If he gets scouted out by the AA, he's just dead, but...
Quafer, bot lane, will end up losing his life. Saksa, it really just takes him a shackle. As soon as he connects that shackle, Ace, he just comes in and drains all the mana of that Mirana, as she won't actually have any left to be able to leap away. Meanwhile, top lane, though, 33 going to be in trouble now. Boxy, he's rotated over the Night Stun, 33. He does not get a deny off on himself, Mickey. He will find the damage in the end. Very close call there for him. Meanwhile, bot lane though, they have found an arrow once again onto Ace, but Saksa is there to save the day. Ace, he'll go ahead and salve up, but it is cancelled there by Koifa. Meanwhile, Mickey, he'll find PPD up the top lane. Things will go be quiet for a bit. It'll be a 2-3 though. Slight net worth lead coming up from Alliance, 5.5 minutes in.
They are finding a bit more from these lanes. The one thing is that Boxy is having to rotate early on. It's not the worst thing as the Pangolier. We did talk about this. The hero itself just doesn't need too much farm, but you are giving pretty much a... It's not the ideal lane for Razor. Certainly he wants to shut down someone in this lane as well, but the fact that Razor is still free farming is not great.
Boxy gonna go down mid lane. Good rotation there from PPD on the AA. But he just forced the swashbuckle to come out. He went towards the east side, or excuse me, the west side of the river. PPD was just there waiting the whole time with the chilling touch, so they do find a very important kill onto that Pango.
Yeah, and again, that does slow down his progression just a bit. Not even level 6 yet in Box. He should have it probably after this wave, so he's going to have that Rolling Thunder to help out the cause soon. Still, I mean, you look at Fata, you look at the start he's had, pretty much top of the last hits right now. He's had a very free run. You don't usually see Razors go this uncontested, but it's going to be a good game for Fata.
I mean, it just feels like a standard for Fata, though, doesn't it? Like, I do agree with your point that the Razor doesn't have this much of a free time usually, but it seems like Fata does. No matter how many times he plays this hero, he just seems to have the same start over and over again. This is why you see those teams always first phase banning. The 33 top lane, Rolling Thunder going to fly in, and a lot of damage already being dealt. The 33, he can't get the stun off, and now PPD's in trouble. He tried to come in and help, but it's not going to work out for him. He'll lose his life as well. 2 big kills up the top lane, and now bot lane, they found an arrow onto Ace, but Saksa, he gets the shackles off. It won't matter in the end. NIP end up losing 3, and there could be a 4th coming, because Koifa is continuing the chase. Tiger cannot get in range for that burrow strike. Saksa is still running, but an arrow is going to be up in a second. Koifa will just hold on to it rather than throwing it out.
Yeah, and again, we are seeing the issues in NIP's draft finally show here. I was mentioning it earlier, they like to run these greedy drafts. Looks like Alliance is set to punish hard.
Bardock maybe in trouble mid lane, though they have found Koifa on the shackles. Saksa, can he hold him in long enough? There will be the drop, and in fact, Koifa finds the kill onto Ace. Wow, looks like Saksa did end up finally getting Koifa as the return kill, though the gold was split. So 1-for-1 trade, but the Ace kill is definitely more worthwhile there for Alliance.
Definitely is. It's mildly worrying. We always talk about Ace having a pretty good start. Alliance seems to understand that if you give Ace a good time, he will set the tempo for NIP. They've pretty much made this AM lane really hard. I mean, we haven't seen Ace this low on last hits in a long time, but he's struggling here. 23-10 at 8 minutes in. Feels like he just has to jungle now.
I mean, it kind of goes back to that Mirana pick, though, right? I mean, we were questioning the Mirana pick in the draft. We weren't really sure how well Alliance could do with this hero, but I suppose just the fact that you can set up with the burrow strike and go straight into the arrow afterwards just makes Ace feel very, very uncomfortable on this anti-mage.
Yeah, and Alliance is really working this draft quite well. I mean, getting that setup from the Sand King is not the easiest thing, especially earlier on when he only had level 1 burrow strike, but they make it work very early on, apply that pressure, and now force a rotation out from Fata down bot as well.
Was given Ace the space to farm in the mid lane. Looks like Fata is going to take over that safe lane for a bit, though they have followed Ace to that mid lane Tiger, looking for a burrow, won't find it thanks to the spell shield, and now Boxy, well, he committed the Rolling Thunder, but decides better of it after they missed that burrow strike. That'll allow Ace to live another day, try and keep farming up. Bot lane. Was a sap there on Fata, though it looks like they will go straight onto the Oracle. Instead, Insania will end up losing his life. Koifa, though, will be safe with the Moonlight Shadow. He will get out in time. Though his T1 tower may not be so safe, because it doesn't look like they plan to stop anytime soon. Saksa looking for a Shackles. He won't get it, but he will drop the Surfer Wards. Almost baiting Koifa in to try and take some of those Surfer Wards out. Looks like he will just leave him be. Fata, he's going to go after Boxy on that Pangolier, who's just trying to steal some boundary runes off the side of NIP. Be too successful in doing so as well. Well done. Look at Mickey up at top lane, going after Ace just by himself right now. One more adaptive will do the job, and he will need it. The right-click miss was there, but Mickey finding an anti-mage kill solo is a very rare thing 10 minutes in for a Morphling.
I mean, it's just down to Ace having that really bad laning phase. He's at 2.6k net worth, doesn't even have level 6 yet. Is really nowhere near that Battle Fury timing. And you look at Mickey, he's level 8. He's got his Perseverance up, rushing that Lincoln Sphere, and should hit a pretty decent timing. 4.9k net worth in him. Top of the board, and again, they have left Mickey up top. They're not applying the same pressure that NIP is Alliance is applying towards NIP's Ace. It's not there on the safe lane.
Glad you pointed out how low of a level Ace was. I didn't even realize, but he's actually below his own supports right now. Boxy mid lane, gonna go in onto Fata, Rolling Thunder. Will be there as well. Fata's probably not gonna survive this, so Ice Blast will fly in. Looks like they want to try and connect that Ice Blast onto Tiger, but he did realize what was going on and backed off in time. And now they deny off that mid tier 1 as well, so that's a lot of gold being denied that NIP desperately need right now. At the very least, though, the mid tier 1 down does open up the map just a bit for NIP, though. Bot lane PPD now getting jumped on by Koifa. PPD is just going to go for the straight TP and will be successful in doing so.
Yeah, they do lose their tier 1 down bot. Don't manage to get the 9 that, but they get the added bit of map control from that mid tier 1. I'm not sure if NIP is in a position to use that map control though.
Saksa ends up falling there. Insania picks that one up, and now 33. Gonna go in with Fata. Ice Blast will fly it as well, but will not connect onto Mickey. Rather, that will connect onto Insania on the Oracle, but that was not their target. The Moonlight Shadow immediately coming out, and it looks like Boxy is actually going to rotate through the river Gonna come up and try to flank 33 and Fada. But will they actually reinitiate back in? They don't really have the lockdown here with just Boxy. But he has the Rolling Thunder. 33, he'll commit the God's Strength, and that'll be enough for the side of Alliance to decide to back off.
Yeah, it's just some posturing from both sides. Alliance just kind of making sure Mickey does live through that. And they do actually manage to save the Morphling, so in the end it is quite worthwhile. Doesn't look like NIP is pulling back though. They still have heroes up in the area.
They're looking for that opportunity. Again, I just wonder whether they actually have enough lockdown on NIP with just Fada and 33. Doesn't look like they will. Then again, Mickey isn't even around in the Morphling anymore. He's gone down towards the east side jungle on the dire end. Looks like he's just going to go focus on farming up and finishing that Lincoln Sphere for now. Meanwhile, Boxy has dropped to about half HP, but again, that lockdown just isn't there after 33 throws up the stun. And now the Ice Blast. Good attempt there from PPD, but will not end up connecting.
Yeah, again, just it really feels like NIP is wasting a lot of time up here top. They're not really shutting down anyone from farming. They're not going to be taking this tier 1 either, so they do move Fata into that jungle and just leave 33 to be a nuisance. That damage quite fast. It's mildly concerning for NIP. This is a bit of a way too good of a start for Alliance so far. Just finding everything they want and really not receiving too much pressure in return. NIP has been focusing on trying to buy a space, which they have secured now, but that gives Alliance space on Mickey as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you look just at the difference in levels of the position ones, Mickey's level 11, Ace is at level 8. I mean, in farm, you're talking about a 2.5k net worth between the two. Of course, Mickey being up front, there will be a bit of disconnection there, and there is actually a smoke rotation here from Alliance. They are moving into that mid lane. They do see Saxa and Fana. Finding that kill on the Razor would really be nice as well for Alliance. I mean, that's the one fear you have right now on the Dire side, is Fana has not farmed badly. He's actually had a pretty good time on the Razor. And shut this man down now. Just make it ever so beautiful for them, though. That is some unfortunate timing. Smoke gets broken from Alliance. Saxa is there with the Invis Rune. Well, they see Saxa at the very least. The Sentry Ward was there in time. Definitely not the target they wanted in the end, though.
Definitely not. They did kind of walk into the break, but it still felt rather unfortunate there was a follow-up pass after the go signal.
Idiot bonus strike up insane here. We're the fortune then as well. The Ice Blast gets thrown out, but PPD definitely dead. Just trying to secure the bannerings for his team. Won't be successful in doing so. To make matters worse, Mickey will go ahead and solo kill Ace a second time. And he also found both bannerings down at the bot lane, so that's... This Morphling, he hasn't got that many items yet, John. I mean, he's about to finish that Lincoln Sphere. He is sort of out of control already.
It's down to that level difference. Morphling still can do a lot without items, especially against a hero like AM. AM is just kind of paper without items. He doesn't do too much damage as well, so with just how far ahead Mickey is, he can burst down Ace.
NIP looking to make a jump here on Alliance. Still isn't going to be easy though. 33 was waiting in the tree line. Sania gonna TP out. Everybody just getting out of there safely from Alliance and NIP. Find themselves grouped up, but really for no reason. He will go ahead and root up the Pango Boxy, but Ice Blast as well will come in. That should pick him off, and no, Rolling Thunder will be there. He does actually dodge the initial damage. It shouldn't tick him out all the way, I don't believe. He will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good opportunity, but not quite enough coming out from NIP yet. That That Rod of Atos reveal from Fat as well, not paying off the way they wanted. Again, they wanted to kill straight off the bat. It was pretty close on Boxy, but now that Fata has this added bit of control, he should have a better time finding solo pickoffs as needed. Or if, you know, if Saksa does get taken out in the middle of a team fight, he has his own way of keeping someone still, so he can get more damage out.
At the very least, NIP, they do claim the tier 1 top tower.
Radiant structures.
Just thanks to Saksa, who just went ahead and dropped the circle boards. Their bot tier 2 is being pushed in by a creep wave, but it looks like NIP will also pressure the top tier 2 of Alliance. And as it stands, Alliance are actually going for a kill here after 33, though they missed the burrow strike. 33, the root will be there from the Oracle, but it's going to be a fair bit of wasted time here for Alliance. They'll settle for that mid-tier 1. Nice ones will fly in here from PPD as well, but they might lose their tier 2 if they're not too careful. Boxy, he'll go in with the rolling gunner, but there are a lot of heroes around right now. They will use him up. The Rod of Atos is ready to go as well, but it's really hard when he's invisible. Tiger, he'll jump in. Arrow will connect as well from Koifa. Straight onto Fire. They will just burst him down, and now Saksa gets taken out as well. Great rotations there from the Alliance side. They do end up protecting that tier 2 top. In fact, they're going to go for even more. They found PPD on that AA. There's just really no way he survives this one. Fortune's End will be there from Insania, and that'll be a double kill on the Oracle.
I mean, there's a really aggressive smoke coming out from Alliance straight off as well. They're going to go for Ace.
Oh, Ace. He thought he was safe, John. Arrow will connect Koifa. Just finds it. 4 heroes get lost there on the side of NIP just in the span of 30 seconds. And now they look to pressure the mid-tier 2 tower, and I say, why the hell not?
Yeah, it should take a lot of damage here if it doesn't go down straight out. One thing I am liking from Alliance is that they are applying a lot of pressure on Ace that we haven't seen other teams really try to do, right? We've seen it all day yesterday. The Ace just gets the freest lane. Even if you creep cut, you're really just not applying pressure on the hero itself, just on lane creeps. And he still finds farm. This time around, you know, we're at 18 minutes in. Still no Battle Fury. Still level 10 on the AM. Not ready to fight. Not ready to contribute. NIP is forced into a 4v5. We're 18 minutes into the game. And it's still going to take him, what, another 5 minutes to really come online? Because you're not going to be jumping in just for the Battle Fury. You're still going to need more.
Going in by himself with the Rolling Thunder. Yours will be there from Saksa, but it won't matter. Excuse me, it was Boxy using himself, but Tiger, he'll end up finding another kill onto PPD. This is just the confidence that's coming out of Alliance right now. They've just got nothing to be afraid about, especially with a 7k net worth lead. And it goes back again to what you said. So Ace is just nowhere near being ready to fight. He's almost at his demon edge, but he can't really afford to get picked off anymore. You look at 33 as well, and he's trying his best to finish off that pipe, but even then, it just feels like they're lacking some counter initiation.
They definitely do. Again, the team fight coming in from NIP isn't going to be as good as Alliance. Alliance do have a lot more tools in a wide area. I mean, they already had that Blink Dagger and Taiga for about the past 5, maybe 8 minutes max, and with that, he has been a bit of a menace, initiating for Alliance.
Well, they're going to the Moonlight Shadow now. Boxy does have double damage, so gets spotted out immediately. Now Ice Blast, they want to burst him down, and they do. Lana will go ahead and pick that one up for himself, and now they make the chase onto Tiger. The Burrow Strike will be there, but Rod of Atos from Fada, it won't matter. Be able to blink out. They do find a nice little pick there for the side of NIP, and a bit of a gold influx there from Fada. Would like to see it more on Ace though, but there's not much you can do about that. At the very least, it looks like they are going to go for a bit more of a top lane push.
Yeah, and with that Pangolier dead, that does open up some time for you to get this push going. You're not going to see Alliance's full team fight coming out. Although if they do push a bit further in, I mean, it's a very short respawn. He's going to be back up for the defense if NIP does force the issue in that tier 2 top.
Not going to be the easiest push.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As you mentioned, Tiger, he has that Blink Dagger available. They've got the Maelstrom on the Piranha. Boxy sitting more than happy with the Yules, and he'll go ahead and deny off that tier 2. Just really starving the side of NIP of that gold, and Usually you'll see teams just hold on, even if it's within deny range. But Fana, he'll get jumped on, but Chrono Strike will not be there in time, and Koifa giving a lot of damage away to that Razor. Is it going to be enough though? Because Boxy is coming in with the Rolling Thunder. He'll get started straight on the Razor, and again, just stunning him in place. Now the Ethereal comes out of Mickey. The first reveal of that item, and it pays off straight off the bat. The rest of NIP do manage to TP out in time. That will make it a 9k net worth lead and a 16-19, about 22 minutes into this game.
Yeah, it's a really good start for Alliance, of course. Again, Mickey is so far ahead on his Morphling, just having all the things he needs at this point in the game. E-Blade up. Lincoln's up. He's working on that Scotty next, and if he keeps finding these kills, along with all the camps he's clearing out and the waves, he's going to have a pretty decent timing on all 3 core items. I mean, he's so far ahead right now. You compare it to Ace, right? The opposite end. He has power treads, he has that battle period finally at 22 minutes in.
Saksa will end up getting caught out bot lane, and PPD gets caught out mid lane. As if the shotgun again was there from Mickey. So now 2 heroes down on NIP, and they spot out Ace. Will immediately counterspell and blink away. Who they found there? They have found 33 on the Sven. He's just sitting up right now, Foxy, with that Rolling Thunder. He tries to juke him out a bit, but there's just no chance. He's just completely surrounded. That's going to allow that bot tier 2 now to be under siege from the side of Alliance, and again, NIP still trying to look for an answer here towards the dire side.
The best they can hope for is for Ace to apply pressure as well. He is going around the map into the opposing jungle, trying to find some space for himself. And all you can really hope for is that he finds enough that he'll be back online in 5 minutes.
Well, they found Fana on the Razor near that Roshan pit, and since they're near the Roshan pit, looks like Alliance are thinking about just going straight for that Roshan, and they will. Foxy, he just picked up a Blink Dagger as well. Arrow will of course connect from Koifa on the Roshan, and NIP does feel like they need to try and contest this, and they will with an Ice Blast. The Foxy does have to be wary of how much damage he takes now, but they won't go completely in. They are just going to take the time being given to them by Alliance to just try and get that farm up safely.
That's really all you can hope for. Again, NIP doesn't have the best tools in tight spots. All the teamfight potential is on Alliance. They have the Sand King, they have the Rolling Thunder from the Bangolier. Even the Oracle route is going to be massive there as well, so you just don't have the tools to contest there. All you really have is what? The Sven stun and his cleaving. And maybe that Ice Blast as well. The toolkit from the AA, but it's not the most amazing.
Bot lane, John. Tiger. Set up. Ace, he'll blink away. That looks like Foxy knows where he is. Instead, though, they are going to go and chase what looks like Saksa on that Shadow Shaman. They do also find the Radiant Courier to boot, but Saksa going for the TP and will make it out. Quick thinking from him, however. They still have Ace in the Yules, and Boxy will take him out by himself. He did have a double damage, though, which does help the cause. Meanwhile, Fana gets taken down by Mickey in the mid lane, and it looks like it was another shotgun coming out.
Yeah, and he also has the Razor form stored up as well, so he will have that static link if he needs it. And his damage will escalate quite high if he does opt to go that way.
Saksa gets just bursted in the plasma field coming out, and now the static link up to 33. He's trying to go into defense, but they've just got so much disable, and there's the GG call. PPD, he's had enough. He knows there's no chance in this game any longer. What a showing, though, from Alliance. I mean, they're going into this series, the underdogs are up against NIP, and they don't look like the underdogs, John. They really don't.
It looked really dominant. I do agree with you. 6-28, 25 minutes, 17k network lead for Alliance. The greed from